Well, that kind of cut off the beginning of that. I didn't restart it. Like an idiot. So doing the AFC breakdown. 2025. Denver finished as the 1 seed, surprising nobody. New England Patriots, again, surprising nobody with the 2 seed. Number 3 seed, Jacksonville Jaguars, surprising again nobody. 4 seed Pittsburgh Steelers. That one probably didn't surprise many people, to be honest. Maybe a little bit, because I think people probably thought that Lamar Jackson was good and that Baltimore would make the playoffs, but not so fast.
Right.
5 seed Houston Texans, who looked like the 1 seed for a stretch during the season. And then CJ Stroud had to make a couple plays and could not. The Bills as the 6th seed, not winning the division for the first time in a while to their old nemesis, the New England Patriots. And the 7th seed, rounding it out, the Chargers. I think that 7 seed should just be the Chargers seed. We should rename the AFC 7 seed to just Chargers slot. First few teams out. Indianapolis didn't make the cut. And I'm not sure anybody else was particularly close as far as coming down to week 17, 18. The Chiefs were eliminated in week 14 or 15. Baltimore was similar. But yeah, that's how it worked out. I forgot Jacksonville was the 3 seed.
Yeah.
But that makes sense. Okay. So Tony, you can go ahead with your division.
I had the AFC South. So it was an interesting division. I think it's a little difficult to be certain on for a number of reasons, but here's how I kind of had it laid out. I'll go bottom to top, kind of like we did last week. I got the Titans at the bottom. They're clearly, they're going to be one of the worst teams in the league this year. Most likely, they were last year. I think they're ages away from being a contender in any stretch of the imagination. So yeah, they've really got nothing going. So they're going to be at the bottom. Then you have the Colts. I have the Colts at number 3. I have the Colts there because a couple of reasons. I think what you ended up seeing the second half of last year is more who they are than the first half. I think the first half was a little bit of lightning in the bottle. I think they're going to be able to run the ball. I think they're going to struggle a little bit early, especially Daniel Jones is really being rushed back from injury. I don't think he's going to be at full strength to go at the beginning of the year. And it's questionable, whether he could recapture what he had going last year, even if he's fully healthy, let alone coming off of a major injury like that. So I think it's going to be tough for them to get going early, and I don't see them being much different. A couple of the other thoughts there with them is, their organization, their front office is kind of a mess. They've got a lot of stuff going on there with ownership and being overly involved, being in the locker room, causing lots of issues. So I see them slipping even farther than last year. I don't think they'll be in the playoff conversation, to be quite honest. Then at 2, I have the Texans. The Texans, clearly, they have a top defense. Their defense should be as good this year, I would think. They're returning basically everybody. They've made some moves in the secondary, so that should even be improved. I don't see them sliding anywhere from a defensive perspective. And so that's going to help them. They're going to be able to stay in every game. Every game will be tight with them. It'll be hard to score points. So they're going to be in every game. I think offensively, the same questions that we all saw at the end of the year. They had some injuries at the receiver position. that kind of hurt them later on in the year. I think that they could be better than what we saw, obviously, in the playoffs. But there's just a lot of questions with them. They were one of the worst rushing teams in the league last year, offensively. So they tried to make some moves to kind of shore that up a little bit. I don't know that we're going to see all that much improvement there. And then obviously all the questions around CJ Stroud and honestly, one of the things that I haven't heard a lot of speaking about, but the way that the offensive coordinator managed that game, considering the situation um, in the playoffs last year, where Stroud just looked terrible. He couldn't complete any passes, but they kept putting him in terrible positions to try to make passes, right? Like the offensive coordinator really didn't give him much help. So I don't see there being much of a change there offensively. So I see them being right around where they were last year, and that means maybe making a wild card spot. But that's where I see them kind of topping out. And then at number one, I have the Jaguars. They have more firepower on offense. They had a franchise year last year. They have the same offensive coordinator coming back, same head coach, same quarterback. They kind of have a recipe for building on some offensive success, I think. There's some questions in the running game. They lost their main running back. Etienne's gone. So they're going to have it looks like they're going to have a group of backs to be kind of carrying the load there. They don't have a guy chosen, so we'll see what happens there. But offensively, it looks like they're going to be the real deal. And then defensively, they were the best rushing defense in the league last year. And everybody, the core of their defense is returning, and they seem to have made some moves kind of to shore up their secondary a little bit, which was kind of their struggle point defensively last year. So they should be even better on defense this year, I would think. So looks like they're going to be improved even from last year, and they had a really good year last year. So I see them winning the division in the South.
No argument here at all. Interestingly, with Houston, it looks like they traded for Kayshon Boutte out of New England. I don't know why anyone would choose that pronunciation for the last name, but hey, Boutte might sound even worse because it sounds like you're trying to get around it, right? It sounds like no, it's Boutte.
Right, you're adding inflection.
Yeah, but he's going to be crucial because they were counting on Tank Dell coming back ever since he got injured 2 years ago in that Chiefs game. But, I mean, his injury, like this, tore his ACL, MCL, LCL, dislocated his knee, suffered meniscus damage, multiple surgeries. What are the chances that guy's anywhere near the athlete that he was before? I mean, this is 3 of the 4 ligaments in your knee ripped. Right. And who knows how much the PCL was holding on by.
Yeah. For sure.
Dislocating. Crazy injury. So yeah, I don't know how much the Boutte signing moves the needle for them offensively.
Well,
but you're right.
He worked on his glutes really bad, so he's taken all that stress away from the hamstring and the knee and the MCL and the ACL.
True. Looking at their schedule, they open with the Bills, Bengals, Colts. They got a pretty rough stretch to open.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do.
And then Jags, Eagles, Packers right here at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. Not a brutal schedule, but
right.
I mean, I guess nobody really has a strength of schedule. I really just like to look at the schedule to see if it's like front loaded particularly or loaded at the back. But because like strength of schedule is, I think you're splitting hairs. It's an argument that people bring up with the Patriots, which we'll get into, but from last year. It's like, well, I mean, you could look at like the strength of the defenses they were playing or the strength of the offenses they were playing, but overall strength of schedule just based on opponent win percentage, It's the NFL. You know what I mean?
And how do you predict that now, right? Like that's
Right. How
all
does it carry
assuming that
over?
last year that's all assuming last year's exactly going to carry over to this year, and that never happens.
Right.
So it's really hard to tell if you're predicting it at this point in time.
And everybody who's coached in the NFL and former players, they're always talking about just how difficult it is to win games in general, even against teams that you
Yeah,
expect to beat. It's just hard to win
and
games. Everybody's got generally the same caliber of players across the board. Like there are studs and there are duds, but generally, I mean, these guys are all NFL players.
mhm. Yeah, and that's the thing with Houston, right? Like I've got them at 2, but their defense is the real deal, right?
Yeah.
So they're gonna be, like I said, they're gonna be in every game. So
They
a
had
couple
a
of
little room
games,
to improve too, frankly.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah. So a couple of games go their way that we don't expect or whatever, right? They could easily win
yeah,
the division. So
right.
it's when you have a real defense, like you're gonna be a tough team to beat.
Right. But I'm with you. I'm assuming Jacksonville's offense gets even better.
Yeah.
Just with another year with Liam Cohen coaching him. And
Yeah,
hopefully
they had
the run game can hang on.
young receivers, right? They had young receivers that should be making strides.
Right.
That showed a lot of potential last year. So some of that potential comes to fruition this year. They should be much better.
Yeah.
They also have the greatest player to ever touch a football.
Yeah.
Playing
On both
ways.
sides.
Yeah, Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter.
Yeah,
Um,
that's how to play both ways.
Yeah.
and yeah, Indy, you nailed it on the head with Indy. You know, the assumption was that it was a quarterback fall off, but it wasn't. It was their defense finally came to light because their defense was bad last year.
Yeah.
And they were just playing above the first half of the season. They played a lot better than they put on, I guess, on paper as for the season as a whole. So like the back half of the year, they were particularly terrible defensively.
Yeah, and I mean, you can only ride your horse for so long, right? They
Right.
can't just lean on Taylor, and they're going to have to lean on him heavy early because of Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of questions there, so they're going to be hiding him behind the running game, and
Yeah,
so you
definitely.
do that for the first half of the year before Jones is truly healthy. Who knows what the running game looks like by the time the second half goes around.
Right.
I also think last year they surprised the defenses too. I don't think teams were preparing for them the same way they were in the second half after the teams were able to watch film and figure out scheme wise and quarterback talent. They didn't look the same at all. And I think coming back, defense's expectation is going to be here, and the quarterback's already starting down low. So I can't imagine they take any strides forward.
And they didn't do anything offensively in the offseason. Like they're running the same offense right back out there. So I don't see it being anywhere near what it was in the first half of the year.
They brought in Keenan Allen. Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Great.
He's
But,
good. He's a great fit guy if you've got guys.
Oh,
Like,
he is,
and
but
that
was he going to catch 30 balls this year? You know what I mean? He's not going to be a 75, 85 catch guy. If he is, I'll be shocked and impressed. But if he stays healthy all year, even, I mean, he's not even going to be on the field for all their offensive snaps.
No,
No,
he's
he's
not a
pretty old,
move the
isn't he?
needle player. Yeah,
No,
he is.
not anymore.
Also.
Yeah, he's in his 30s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's aged.
I think because it was clear that the Chargers didn't want him. It was really like, is someone going to take me or do I need to retire? Like you know what I mean? It's at that level with him because he's been injury plagued as well for the last few years. But does anybody think Houston wins that division? I mean, they could obviously, but does anybody vehemently disagree with Jacksonville as the prediction?
I think it looks like last year. I think there's a game that separates them probably at the end of the year, a 1-game difference. If CJ Stroud is any better than he was, which he can't get a whole lot worse, but given his notoriety, but if he gets any better, maybe they can beat him twice. That's the thing. If they can, if someone can win both of those games, they'll win the division. But I don't see
honestly,
that
I think it'll be an interesting division to watch because It's going to come down to a game or two, I think, between those two teams. Like Dad said, it's going to be close at the end, just because Houston plays such great defense. So it's going to be close. But I have Jacksonville winning the division just because I think they're a better football team all around.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think they're kind of the favorite. Actually, I'm curious to see what they're.
I was looking at the
Who's
Vegas. They're
favored to
both
win
at
the division?
9.5.
They are
Both
at
at
9.5.
9.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
If it's,
Houston and Jacksonville are at 9.5.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
Or do they have Indy?
Yeah.
Indy, they had a 7.5.
Wow.
So the Texans are favored. They are plus 110 to actually win the division. Jacksonville plus 245.
well, that's because
So-
CJ got a haircut. Everybody thinks he's turned his life around.
Yeah, it's the hope.
It's the defense. It's
Their
the
defense is really good. Second best defense in the league, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Could be the best defense in the league. We'll see. I mean, yeah, there's always a little bit of shakeup with those. It's hard to carry over defensively.
It
Because
is.
a lot of it's injury luck. A lot of it's who stays healthy. And
Yeah,
typically, if
the key
you're
is-
finishing in the 90+ percentile defense, you've had good luck with injuries all year.
Yeah.
And they have linebackers. They have off-ball linebackers that can play. I mean, that changes things.
They have the core. They have a defensive head coach. They have a recipe to be a team that's in the conversation. They have the Baltimore recipe.
Yeah.
A team that can be in the conversation, even if the offense is a question. They're just a team that's going to be in the conversation because of that in and of itself. Right.
All right. So we can move on. Dad,
All right.
did you have the West? We gave you the West, right?
Yeah, of course you give me the West.
Yeah.
Huh?
I thought you'd be the one to be most comfortable picking against the obvious
Well, I wanted
Super Bowl
to
champions.
start with just a quick overview here. I'm gonna throw some numbers out. 35,939 yards, 267 touchdowns. Touchdown percentage of 5.7. Quarterback record 95-31. Everybody knows what I'm talking about, right?
Justin Herbert.
Anybody not? He's not even close, man. He's half that. So everybody knows what I'm talking about. Everybody knows what I'm
Yes.
talking about. So I got to start there, and I got my guy and his team, and I got them finishing third.
You fooled us. You fooled me.
I did. I fooled you. I just couldn't. I couldn't do it, man. The more I poured into this thing, it's like, holy cow.
They're the favorite to win the division. Oh, you got it. Well, I was just looking for that.
Kind of like we talked about last week. I think it's a team in disarray. I wouldn't be surprised if they came out and won 14 games. I wouldn't be surprised, but I couldn't put money on it. I
Right.
couldn't put my name to it at this point in time. I think they're the third best team. Of course, we all know who's the bottom of the barrel in that division. They're almost not worth talking about. The Raiders, I think, are they're going to struggle to win 6 games. What they win last year? 3, 4, something like that.
And they were picking number 1.
Yeah, they're picking number 1, and they picked a quarterback, and he's not going to play much. They got Kirk Cousins, and as much as we all like him in his career and such, he is what he is. So that's a bottom team. They're going to win 5, 6 games, maybe 4, something like that.
Yeah, they'll pick early
So-
again, which they want to. They definitely, I think they want to pick early again.
Yeah, I think it would help them.
Yeah,
And
first-year head coach.
Did the running back get hurt this week? Did I see that right?
He did. I don't know the extent of the injury,
Mm-hmm.
but he did get hurt this week.
Yeah, that's unfortunate if it did. But
He was gonna get just
he's going to get
so
destroyed
many
again.
carries.
Obliterated.
Yeah,
He's going to get hammered like he did last
they
year.
were gonna give him so many carries.
Obliterated.
Yeah, get obliterated.
Nice.
So I got the Chiefs at third. I got of course, the Raiders in in last place there. I think the Chiefs and the Chargers is the big question. Which team ends up being number 2? I really do. I think that's the question in the division. And how high a seed in the playoffs can one of those two teams get if they're number 2? So I think we're going to get 2 teams out of the West in the playoffs. I could see it being either of those 2 teams. I can't see the Broncos dropping a lot, even though I don't know. I'm not 100% sold on a lot of things there, but I think part of that is because I'm too close to it. Because if we watch a game every week, it's going to be that one.
Yeah.
And I think, like you said, John, it's hard to carry over defense, but the more I looked at it, man, their defense was elite.
Mhm.
Them in Houston, and I honestly think the Broncos defense was better overall now. The more I look into that, so
Yeah.
let's say they have a drop off on defense, they're gonna go from the best defense in the league to the 5th. They're gonna be the 5th best defense in the league, and I don't see their offense being any worse. So,
Right.
I think they're gonna win the division. I don't think they're gonna win it going away. It'll be a struggle. But I see them winning the division, and then the real fight, I think, is going to be for 2nd and 3rd there.
Yeah. Maybe it's the hater glasses. I don't think it's going to be. Well, I don't want it to be much of a competition between 2nd and 3rd, but who knows? I mean, the Chargers already lost their starting center. And they always seem to have injuries. They don't have anybody who can burn you offensively outside of McConkey. So yeah, I mean, maybe the Chiefs do finish 2nd in that division, sneak into the playoffs.
I think the Chargers are the natural choice, just given looking at the 2 teams. But
yeah,
I think the Chiefs will be a surprise this year to those people like us that think they're in disarray. I think it's kind of a weird thing where sometimes when a team looks like they're in that much disarray that, they kind of bring it together a little bit. So
right.
That's what
the market's saying. They're favored to win the division. So I think they might surprise everybody by landing right in the middle. We're not as bad as we're thinking and not as good as people are expecting them to be. And I don't know if that's big money or, small time bettors. Because I mean, at this point in the offseason, I don't know. They might have opened as the favorites to win the division, but I mean, it's close. They have implied probability 38%, Chargers 34%, Denver 32%. So,
wow.
Yeah, I mean, I think you kind of called it, Dad. I mean, the most stable team in the division is the Broncos. They're the most stable. They have a proven defense. Like you said, they're going to be a top 5 defense this year. That's just it's a given. They have returning quarterback, same offensive strategy, new OC, new play caller, but it's Sean Payton's offense, and their quarterback's going to be another year progressed. So I think the stability is just there for them. With Kansas City, right? You got Mahomes coming back from injury. That's a massive question mark. And they're old. They're an aged team. And there are a lot of questions there. Like you said, we kind of see them a bit in disarray. So there's questions there. If some of that stuff comes together, they could be a playoff team. But we just don't know what that's going to look like. And
that question gets answered because Travis Kelce did get married. So Taylor Swift will be singing at every game. And I think that is going to bring that team mesh.
Bring them together.
Really mesh everything.
And they're just going to play balls out, dude.
Very great. Very helpful analysis.
Yep, yeah, absolutely.
I actually had Denver.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, John.
I was going to say I have Denver's defense rated as the best since 2022. I have them as the highest rated defense since 2022 at a 97 percentile. And in 2024, their defense was 89th percentile. So they did get better last year. So, but I mean, even if they drop, right? Even if they're not that best defense in the last 5 years again, what, they're going to drop to 89th? They're not going to drop lower than they were in 2024, I don't imagine. In Riley Moss's rookie year, you know what I mean? I think they still probably end up somewhere in the 90s as far as percentile goes. It's still a top 3 defense in the NFL.
And I think one thing that Denver has, I think they have it going for them a little bit when you talk about just motivation and everything else. They can kind of play that card if they do it right.
Totally.
They got the rug pulled underneath them when their quarterback got hurt last year. So
and now everybody's fading them. Now they're the third best odds to win their own division. I mean, they can play the nobody believes in us card. All year again.
Yeah,
it's shaping up for the Chargers to underperform, even though we're all sitting here looking at it saying there are massive questions. Their offensive line is already unhealthy. Already. The season hasn't even started yet. We know they don't have many tools on the outside. And so everybody's just thinking that McDaniels is going to cover up all those holes on the offense with his magician scheme. There's too many questions there.
I think the Broncos have the highest chance to sustain the defensive success out of the top tier defenses that we saw last year. Just kind of like what John said, they've done it in recent history. But with the Chargers, to me, it looks like they're going to be putting everything on the weight of the quarterback again. I don't see that explosive power on the offensive side of the ball. And the last couple of years, the biggest Achilles heel is their offensive line. And they're coming into the season already behind on that. I still think they have, as far as potential, I think they could shock and fight for the number 1 seed with the Broncos. But I could also see them struggling because, again, they're putting all the pressure on their quarterback.
I'm pumped to watch the run game.
Yeah.
Because they shift from Greg Roman to Mike McDaniel. So they're moving to that zone run. They're moving that Shanahan-style zone run game. And that is fascinating to me because it's pretty much the same guys along the offensive line who've been playing in a little bit more of a gap power scheme. So that's really intriguing to me. Just as I would enjoy
agree.
Watching football.
As much as I dogged on McDaniel when he was in Miami for a lot of reasons, I'm really intrigued by him in San Diego.
Yeah.
Los Angeles.
Well, you dog him as the head coach from the moment they hired him.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Like, at some point, your head coach has to command the respect of these elite athletes, mostly black guys. And physiognomy is real. I mean, the way you look is going to determine how people view you when you're in a in a battlefield simulation, which is what football was initially designed as.
One of the worst places to have the friend coach that you could have, because those players are just going to take it.
Who's 5'5" with these massive spectacles and wears the joggers pulled up halfway up his calf. I mean, come on, vaping on the sideline. Come on.
Yeah, he's 5'5". He's as tall as some of the massive testicles.
I mean, he did play. I think he played at like Yale. He did play some D3 football, but
I think those questions are. I think we could easily be talking about this division with 3 playoff teams.
Yeah.
Like a few years ago, right, where you were in that conversation, you were thinking that the West was going to get 3 playoff teams for a few years in a row there. If things shake out, right? If McDaniel works out in LA and Mahomes comes back healthy and they're able to kind of turn things around, as a lot of people are kind of expecting, you could end up in that situation. I just think the only stability you see in the division right now is Denver. There's questions everywhere.
Right.
I'm shocked that those stats you said, John, about the favorites to win the division. That I hadn't seen any of that. That honestly shocks me.
Denver's got the 13th best Super Bowl odds. There's like 12 teams with higher Super Bowl odds. I am flabbergasted. It's Bo Nix. My guess is that the market, everybody just outside of Denver fans, I'm guessing everybody just thinks Bo Nix sucks.
I think that's the majority of people. Because a
Which
lot
he
of the
might not-
things I see about Bo Nix is everybody thinks he's overrated.
Yeah. Well, he might not be elite, but I've been watching a lot of his throws over the last week. Well, just a lot of the pass plays, not just pass plays in general. He doesn't suck. He's not a terrible quarterback. He's not a
Right.
bad quarterback. He hits almost every layup that you put in front of him.
He's not what the Denver media says he is, which
No,
is
he's
why
not what the Denver media says, but he's
Which is
also
why-
not what the general
I'm-
national media says either.
right. And he's not. He's somewhere in between there.
Right.
But compare him to what are we comparing him to? That's what kind of hit me a little bit. I'm comparing him to Justin Herbert, who, like you guys said, is going to have everything on his shoulders. He's very spotty in that situation.
Mhm.
He makes bad decisions a lot of times because he's always under that pressure.
Right.
And then we're comparing him in that division to Patrick Mahomes, who's coming off injury and is aged. He's in his 10th year with a team that's in disarray. So if you look at those three things put together, just in a general consensus, which quarterback do you think is going to have a more successful year? It's got to be the guy with the consistent defense, consistent coach. Everything's pretty much normal. You can play the victim card because you got hurt. I mean, that seems to me like them being third is it's crazy.
It's insane to me.
Well, the reason I think it's obviously the quarterback is because defensively, nothing's changed on that front. Everyone agrees Denver's defense was top 3 in the league last year. Denver's wide receiver core is completely overvalued in the national media. Everyone thinks for some reason they have a ton of offensive weapons on the outside for some reason. Troy Franklin sucks. Marvin Mims sucks. And those guys' names get thrown around all the time. Sutton is meh. So it's not that. And I think they way overvalue RJ Harvey as well. And they super struggled running the ball. So I think the only reason that they could possibly even be discounted is because of the quarterback situation.
I'd love to go back and listen to some of the national, pundits talking during the playoffs about Bo Nix, because if I remember right, he was getting some massive praise from the national media during the playoffs. Because when we were watching playoff games, we were seeing the national broadcasters, and I was just as frustrated in those games listening to him talk about him, because I think they were trying to make him what he's not. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you guys heard it differently, but
Not from the broadcast. I think you're correct on the broadcast. And Colin Cowherd switched to being a massive Bo Nix supporter by the end of the season. But a lot of the other just general talking heads, some of the people I follow on Twitter that fancy themselves film watchers, some former players, that kind of stuff, have never bought into the Bo Nix hype at all. So maybe I'm in somewhat of an echo chamber in that way, probably.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you're right about the broadcasts for sure.
Well, the odds are showing that. So it's not just those guys. The odds are showing that in general,
Absolutely,
he's being undervalued. Even though in this room, there are skeptics of Bo Nix sitting right here, but not to the point where they're going to fall to third in the division this year. Not to the point where he's going to hurt them so bad that he loses them games.
Well,
right?
He threw
That's
more
what we're
passes. He led the league in pass attempts last year.
Yeah, and he
So
didn't lose them, and
they weren't
didn't lose
hiding
them
him.
Games.
They
No.
weren't hiding him behind a run game. They weren't. It was like everybody's throwing a lot of checkdowns. Everybody's spreading the field laterally. Everybody's supplementing the run game with the pass game because everybody's playing these quarters looks and these quarter half looks and these cover 6 looks and all this protect from the deep ball.
right.
And so it is kind of hard to gauge a quarterback when they're throwing a lot of short routes, a lot of checkdowns and such. But he threw the ball more than anybody in the league last year.
He's
So
not
I don't know
gonna
how
lose
you
them.
could really fade him that much.
Right. Say he's not elite like you said, John, but he's not going to lose them games. And they have a top 5 defense that's going to be a top 5 defense again. And so if you have a top 5 defense and a quarterback who's not going to lose you games, then you have to be in the conversation for the top of the division. Just like we were just talking about Houston, right? With a defense like that, the question is the quarterback. Is he going to win you games or lose you games? It's the same thing here. And I think Bo Nix and Sean Payton's offense is a better option than Houston's, right? I would put them ahead of Houston in that same conversation.
Yeah.
Just for that reason.
I saw someone brought up an interesting point. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Jay.
No, the other thing I was going to say is I'm pretty interested to see what the new offensive coordinator does with Sean Payton, because we all know it's going to be Sean Payton's offense.
Right.
Is he going to change anything, or is it going to be screens all the time again?
Even if he doesn't, I'm glad you brought that up. I was just about to talk about that. Him calling plays. So I don't know if it was a Bo Nix quote or something, but having the head coach call plays limits your ability to talk to him when you're off the field, because your head coach is managing the game and paying attention to the defense. Now having somebody else call plays, even if it's functionally the same offense,
right,
and most of it coming from the philosophical and the pregame prep and everything.
Even the script, even the same script.
Right.
That can all be the head coach still. But having the guy actually calling plays situationally, not be managing the game or paying any attention to the defense when the quarterback comes off the field, I think that could make a big difference.
That does make sense, yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you, Jay.
than
I
you
think
would
it's
think,
going to be interesting to watch. I'm hoping that we have some better sequences, because there are some times where Denver's sequences are pretty rough.
Yeah.
Well, and the reason that they had such an infuriating offense to watch is because the only way that they could move the ball downfield, essentially, with R.J. Harvey at running back, is to get him out in the flat and throw screens and gimmicky styles of offense. And it just left them open for 3-and-outs constantly.
Yeah, he's also not a good pass blocker. So
no, they have to get him out of the backfield, and so they have to get him
which
in
means that
situations.
linebackers are already expanding. Linebackers are already keying in on him for pass, but you don't like guys aren't getting stuck in the middle of the field and close to the line of scrimmage when they know he's immediately going to swing out for a route. They're already expanding and moving.
That's part of the reason everything looks like a screen. It's because if you're just trying to get the running back out, there's guys on him immediately. That's because they know it's coming. They can see what's happening.
Well, and the Broncos don't have a true number one receiving threat either. So they're not having to have two of those off-ball defenders worrying about a threat.
There's nobody to stretch the safeties or anything.
They've got an extra defender every single time in the defensive backfield as well that can help with those flats and come up on those plays.
Do you guys think that Jalen Waddle's going to be a huge thing? Or do you think that's just going to be another
He can't hurt.
Look, no, I think he fits something that they were missing. I think if you watch their receiving core and their pass catchers in general, they didn't have in somebody who was a fantastic route runner at every level. Right. You know what I mean? Right. Yeah. With speed to make plays after the catch. They did have some fast guys, but not particularly good route runners in the middle of the field.
Or him, it doesn't matter.
So I do think he fits something that they didn't have. He does bring an aspect that was clearly missing last year and the year before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't think he fills the big hole. He doesn't fill the number one receiver hole that they have. But he definitely fills something that they need, because he's a true number two. And they didn't have that either. So
no.
I think he's going to fill that gap for sure.
Right.
I agree with that, what Tony said. I think with Waddle, I think he can be a pretty heavy contributor. I think he's really going to help because he's very talented. If he can fit himself mentally into the role of being a number two, because he's going to have to play that role, whether he's the best receiver or not. He's going to have to play that role. If he can mentally say, yes, I'm going to play this number two role, even though I feel like I'm better than the number one.
Yeah.
And I got big, they traded 3 high draft choices to get me, so I'm really important. So I think that's where he falls. If he can fit that role and take it on and do it the way it's supposed to be done, I think he's going to have a big time year.
Yeah. I think they're able to use their tight ends better it also opens that up for it to be easier for him to embrace that role. Because when you're able to use tight ends in the passing game more successfully, you don't need a typical number one guy. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it all helps. It all helps.
Yeah, and that's true. I mean, that's usually what you see, right? If a team doesn't have a true number one, they lean on their tight ends.
Yeah.
That's what happens. So they do need production out of their tight ends. What will help with that most is if they can run the ball.
Yeah.
They need to run the ball better than they did last year. Period. So that's no question.
Did they run the ball last year?
They threw the ball out to the side.
I don't remember seeing handoffs.
Yeah, long handoffs to the sideline.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, so I guess we're all. How do we want to rank that one? We want to go Denver Chargers, Chiefs, Raiders.
It's up to Dad.
That's what I.
Just a replay of last year. That's going to get us into trouble.
Probably.
Or do we want to go Denver Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders, just so that it's not the exact same as they finished last year?
I think the Chargers are going to be good. They got to keep them.
We can swap it up. Let's put Vegas at 2. That'll really.
We can do
Put
Vegas.
at
I would
1.
see
They have
Vegas at
Crosby.
2 before I'd see Kansas City at 2.
See, now you're just fan guy in it. That's like you're not. You gotta look at it objectively.
I mean, I would say if Kansas City,
It's objectively subjective.
if they wouldn't have had the off the field stuff in Kansas City, I would say that throwing them number 2 would be okay. But I still think that's going to play a part in things. I'm just not comfortable with the whole off the field stuff with the coach and off the field stuff with the tight end who's got a dad bod now and got married and all that kind of stuff. That off field stuff I think is why I can't put them at 2.
I agree. I think the gut feel is the Chargers are 2. That's mine, and I think that's kind of the consensus. So
Yeah, that's definitely mine.
It's probably not going to end that way. Like you said, it was the same as last year, so most likely it won't be exactly the same. But that's my gut feel. I think that's the consensus, so I say we go with it.
Yeah. Okay.
Dad, I think you heard Jason's feeling with the dad bod thing.
How could I have anybody's feelings with the dad bod?
As long as he doesn't say bald.
No,
You brought it up.
I don't
Look
think.
at you.
I don't think that.
I was talking about me.
I don't think King Taylor Swift is gonna let him get out of. She's gonna force him to stay okay, so he's gonna be fine.
He's gonna be fine.
So we went Jacksonville, Houston, Indy, Tennessee. We're going Denver.
We got both of those the same. Both divisions the same.
Yeah.
KC,
I know.
Don't worry, mine will be different.
And all right, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So I got AFC North. I'm gonna start with the obvious one. I think the Browns are gonna be the worst in the division.
What?
I think not only do they have just a horrible quarterback room, it's also a circus. It's also going to be every week. Why is Deshaun Watson playing over Shadur Sanders? And then Shadur Sanders is going to get a shot, and people are going to be praising him for this, and other people are going to be dogging him for it's not only a bad offense with a question at quarterback. The question marks are just the clowns of the league, and everyone's going to be talking about it all the time. So I don't think I don't see any chance. I think you guys are all going to agree with that, but I think Willie's picture kind of points it out. The whole focus is going to be on the circus going on at quarterback, and they're not going to be able to win any games.
And I can't wait to watch the games and look at the fan cam because
I
the
know.
fan cam in Cleveland is going to be the best.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to see the level of quarterback play because I think it is just going to be absolutely atrocious. But then, yeah, I'm going to –
Hilarious.
yeah. I'm going to jump to number 1 here because I got more to say kind of about the 2-3 spot, but I think the Steelers are going to be the number 1 seed. I think Aaron Rodgers, it's hard to argue with him being one of the better quarterbacks in the league. He can lead a team in the fourth quarter. I think last year was a year for the Steelers to kind of put some pieces together with the changes in the staff, the changes in the team. But I think they're going to have a pretty overpowered offense. I think they're going to have a lot of success. And I think part of it is because the 2-3 is going to be a question. I've got the Ravens going to be number 3, and I got the Bengals at number 2. And the biggest thing that it came down to for me was I think the Ravens have given the keys to the wrong people in their organization. I think they're leaning now on Lamar Jackson, not only for quarterback play, which at the end of the day, I don't think against good teams he's going to be able to carry him to victories, but they're also leaning towards him for their decisions, staff, their coach type stuff. And I don't think that they're going to be as successful as last year. And I think last year they weren't very successful. They have one of the best running backs in the league, and they're still unable to pass the ball. Obviously, he has arm talent. I'm not saying that, but yeah. And then with the Bengals, I did see that Jamar Chase got injured this week. I don't remember what day it was, but I don't think it's a big enough deal to really knock him too much. And they did make some defensive changes in the offseason. They drafted a cornerback. They drafted a defensive tackle. They traded for a defensive tackle. So I still think their biggest issue is the salary cap on the offensive side of the ball. But I think they're going to be good enough to win. And I just think the Ravens are going to have another tank year personally.
Yeah, I think he got hurt today, but I saw that he didn't leave practice.
Yeah, he didn't leave practice. And then I saw that
so
he was planning on practicing early next week. So
yeah, I wouldn't read too much into it.
No.
I'm gonna with all 3 of those teams, I'm gonna hit the same theme that I've been hitting all night, and it's defense.
Yeah.
With Pittsburgh, they have a proven defense. They're old. I mean, just reality is their defense is old. So if they can hang together for a season, they'll win the division, I think. Because I think with McCarthy coming back, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be in a more comfortable system. And I think I agree with your assessment, Vince. I think their offense will be significantly better this year. And if their defense could just hold together and they don't have injury problems plague them all year, I think they will win the division. Then you go to Cincinnati, like their obvious question is their defense. They can put up points with anybody offensively. The question is, how is their defense going to be bottom of the league bad?
Yeah.
If it is, then who knows, right? They probably do fall somewhere in the middle if their defense is that bad again. And then Baltimore, same thing. You're right. On the offensive side of the ball, they've kind of put all their bet on the offensive side, kind of like Cincinnati has. They've got all their money in their quarterback and their running back, and their defense has really, really taken a hit because of that. And their organization has taken a move away from the winning formula that we talked about. Having a proven defense that's going to just be consistently good, right? They went away from that. They decided we don't want Harbaugh. That was his style of running his team. They moved away from that. They're going to something else. Well, that's a huge question mark. And they're putting all of their chips in the offensive basket. They're doing what Cincinnati did.
Yeah.
So that who knows what that's going to look like. They just haven't been able to play. Last year, the reason they were so much worse is because they played terrible defense. So I think that's the big thing. I think the key is Pittsburgh's got to stay healthy on defense. If they can, then yeah, I think the division is theirs for sure.
Ravens are favored to win the division.
Yeah.
At minus money. Crazy to me.
Yeah.
Crazy. Their defense was not good last year. 39th percentile.
Yeah.
So bad.
And surprisingly a little bit on the older side. And they have a couple key young guys, but a little bit on the older side.
Yeah.
Yeah, first-time head coach. They're going to have a first-time play caller. And you're right. They're kind of putting their chips on the offensive side.
Yeah, I can't say for certain, but I would just – if I was a betting man, I would say that those new first-time offensive coordinator, first-time head coach are going to be in the favor of the quarterback's decision making, and I think they need to go the opposite direction. I think he needs more structure than freedom when it comes to offensive play call.
Well, Baltimore's historically been best when they're defensively sound and defensively oriented. But I mean, similar to Cincinnati, they're going to be able to score. I mean, if Lamar Jackson is comfortable in the offense, and they have Derrick Henry, who's an absolute stud. They got a couple pass catchers. They got a good tight end still. Actually, no, hold on. Did Isaiah Likely leave?
I don't remember. Check my notes.
Yeah, I think he's with the Giants now.
Yeah, that sounds
Okay, so they're rolling out Mark Andrews again. So they do have a question mark at tight end there, and just because he's old. And the next guy they have is Durham Smythe, another veteran.
And they rely on the tight end.
And they
always
spam,
have,
particularly in the red zone. They spam tight ends in the red zone. I wonder. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, I think if you put those two teams together. Yeah, I think if you put those two teams together, right? They both did the same thing, but they both said, "Okay, we're not doing the defense thing anymore. We're going to put all our chips on offense." At least in Cincinnati, you know that they can just take the top off.
They look like the better version.
Yeah, they look
right
like
now. They look like the better version of what Baltimore's trying to do right now.
They've also had more years since that decision. They've had a couple of years to recover, kind of put some pieces together since saying, "Okay, this is what we're going to do. We're pushing for offense." Whereas I think that that's a perfect example of what Baltimore is going to do because they just made that decision.
Yeah.
And I also
just
think
falling into that.
I think, what was it? It was the year before last year. Their Cincinnati was absolutely terrible. When you look at Joe Burrow's numbers, he had MVP stats. I think at the end of the day, if those two teams are in that kind of similar boat, I put my money on Joe Burrow more than Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, you've seen it. He's played with one of the worst defenses in the league and still had playoff teams.
Yeah,
because they can just win barn burners. They just can't. Right? I don't know if Baltimore's going to be able to do that, especially with, like you said, a new head coach, new offensive coordinator.
Well, and
who knows what that's going to look like.
And just the style of play that Baltimore has. Cincinnati can do it because Joe Burrow's proven time and time again the dude can throw the ball 60 times in a game, throw for 560 yards. Baltimore doesn't have that luxury, even no matter how good Lamar Jackson plays. His play style is not fit for that. He's not going to be airing it out all game long, chasing leads.
Baltimore signed Trey Hendrickson. Baltimore signed Trey Hendrickson. So it looks like they're like 2 years behind, 3 years behind Cincinnati in the exact same. That's hilarious.
And the only thing
because I mean,
the Ravens
Cincinnati.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say Cincinnati signed all those guys a few years ago. So a couple years have gone by. Their cap numbers are a little bit more manageable. Yeah. They're no longer the two highest paid receivers in the NFL. And the way you can structure and play with, cap space season to season. And now they did make defensive moves. They couldn't sign Hendrickson, so they traded for Dexter Lawrence.
So if Lamar Jackson gets hurt,
trying to do that in a couple years. It does look like they're a couple years behind with the exact same edge rusher who's going to be their potentially only threat to get to the quarterback.
If
He's
Lamar
like a
Jackson,
microcosm. Yeah.
If Lamar gets hurt, they bring back Joe Flacco.
Tyrod Taylor, baby.
Just do the exact playbook from Cincinnati.
Who's their back? What's their backup's name? Lamar Jackson's backup.
Wasn't it Tyrod?
Isn't it still Tyrod Taylor?
No, it's the other.
He's in Green Bay now. He's in Green Bay.
Oh, that's right.
What's his name?
Oh, Tyler Huntley?
Yeah, Huntley. That dude plays quarterback just as effectively as Lamar Jackson, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They're able.
The only thing Baltimore has that's slightly different than Cincinnati is they have one of the best running backs in football right now. But I don't think their quarterback play complements having that type of running back enough. So even your back in, how much
I think that's the key to what you were saying. Well, I definitely don't think Tyler Huntley's anywhere near as good as Lamar Jackson. But when you have Derrick Henry and you got a couple good wide receivers, you can get effective play out of backup quarterbacks. I mean, yeah, we see it periodically where a backup will come in. It happened in Kansas City.
I don't mean I guess that's just kind of like an offhand comment because I don't necessarily. You're right. He's not the same caliber of player. I just don't know
Right.
how many games more he loses you.
Right.
Playing
Offensive
Lamar Jackson
production
is my point.
overall.
Well, and
Yes.
arguably last year, one of the things that Baltimore struggled with the most was that when they were successful, they were leaning on their running back. And then later in the season, he did kind of have the yips a little bit. He started putting the ball on the ground. And then their offensive production tanked like crazy.
Because he's wearing sleeves.
Yeah, but you're putting your eggs in the basket of your quarterback rather than giving yourself a defense and maybe some skills to take pressure off of your running back? I don't know.
To go off what Willie said, I think he might have seen your orc post.
Yeah,
Didn't
gave him
like
the yips.
that, so he wanted to seem white.
That gave him the yips. That's why he wore the sleeves.
That's why he wore the sleeves.
He
He
should
didn't
And
have
that's
want
what
Yeah.
made him fumble the ball.
yeah, he didn't want to look like an orc guy.
Because those stupid Under Armour sleeves make it impossible to
They're
get
slick,
secure.
right?
And as soon as he took the sleeves off, he didn't fumble the ball anymore.
Yeah.
That's just personal opinion. But
Tyler
I
Huntley
just-
started
I-
2 games last year. He completed 77% of his passes.
I remember that. Yeah.
Sorry.
I feel bad for Vince because he got this division. Well, because from my perspective, this is the only division that I can see any of those top 3 teams could win this division. And I think the Browns are out. But I
Yeah.
honestly think any of those other 3 teams, there are so many question marks. There's no great defense in this division. There's none.
Yeah.
They're all average defenses. Some are higher average than lower average. None of them really have a quarterback that you can say that's the guy. Burrow could be, but he's coming back from injury. We'll have to see what happens. These 3 teams have all of them have massive question marks. I could honestly see any of these 3 winning the division.
I mean, yeah, Pittsburgh could see a defensive drop off just from age.
Yeah.
Because you saw it a little bit.
Well, and
a
I
little bit
think
last year, but
kind of one of the points we've touched on in a lot of these is just consistency. And I think the Steelers have more consistency defensively.
Yeah. And
at the end of the day, I'll put Aaron Rodgers in at quarterback before those other 2 guys. And I think in the long run, I think it's going to help. So I would say in my perspective, there's quite a bit of a gap between where I think the Steelers are going to be and then these other 2 teams. But I can't argue with Dad's point that it could be just neck and
Brand new coach, brand new staff.
Yeah.
well, even this division's also weird because no matter what the skill level of any of these teams are, this division always goes split
Yeah.
every
They
time.
always
No
beat
matter.
each other.
Yeah, they do. They just eat each other up in this division, regardless of how good the teams are. It's a weird quirky division that's always just beating the crap out of each other.
Yeah,
And
I
we've
honestly
got
think
another
it's the hardest division in the AFC to do what you did, Vince. So I give you props for doing
yeah.
Well, it made it more interesting. It was a lot of fun going through it. And again, we're looking at potential divisions with 2 playoff teams going in it. So this team could go. I could see them having 2 teams in the playoffs. I could see them having 1 team. I really don't know.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to be we're going to be split by a game.
Yeah.
It's going to be all 3 of those teams are going to be close.
Unless
I think sorry, Vinny, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say unless the drop off that the Ravens have is that steep.
I mean, the Vegas has them at
Yeah.
10.5.
That's
That's
crazy.
high.
Yeah. Are we just insane? Am I just insane?
That's high.
That's
It has the Steelers at 8.5. And
That seems
The
fine to me.
Ravens were 10.5.
Yeah.
yeah. Ravens
What the
at
heck are they smoking?
those numbers are from people that don't understand that their defense is a struggling defense over the last couple
Yeah,
of years.
I think
It's
you're right.
not the
I think
Ravens defense.
it's the assumption that their defense is really good. I think the team in the division with the highest floor is actually Cincinnati.
Yeah.
I could
agree.
see any of the rest of these teams winning 5 games
Yeah.
potentially. If Pittsburgh has 2 or 3 defensive injury, like significant defensive injuries,
Like
and their
happened at
offense
the end of
doesn't
the
take
year.
off like we're kind of
Well-
hoping so,
Yeah.
or expecting so with McCarthy. If it's stuttering all year and they're giving up points, they could win 5 games.
They
I
could.
don't think Cincinnati wins less than 7 games, though.
No, the only knock I have for Cincinnati, obviously, other than things we already brought up, is I don't see how much their offensive line hasn't gotten much better through the offseason. And I think they're a lot like the Chargers, where they just can't protect the quarterback at all.
Yeah.
And
But
I
their
don't know,
defense can be about average.
Yeah.
They'll be all right.
John, you might have different stats, but from what I was looking at, this is a weird division because I think potentially the best defense in the division is with the team that has no chance of winning.
Browns.
Oh,
I
the
think
Browns clearly
Browns
have the best defense in the division.
best
Yeah.
defense in that division. How many other teams can you say are the best defense in their division and they got no shot to win?
None.
None.
Crazy.
None. That never is the case. That is never the case. And not only is it the best defense in the division, but it is the 72nd percentile defense last year since 2022, which
So
is
they were a top 5 defense last year.
Yes,
and the
they
last
were
3
an
years.
above average top 5 to 8 defense.
Yeah.
And they trade Myles Garrett, but they get Jared Verse back, and I think their defense might be better.
Where'd Miles?
They
go?
won't be focused on just trying to get sacks.
Rams.
Like they sold out
Exactly.
to win that to break that record last year.
They
Who's that
absolutely
guy
did.
who's that quarterback that Cleveland signed, their 4th string guy? Who is that guy? You guys
I don't know.
He's some like running back guy, option quarterback guy from somewhere.
Let's
RG3.
do that.
Well, that's
Let's
what
do
I'm
that this
thinking.
year.
They got a defense like the Ravens used to have. You take your number 4 guy, you got Derrick Henry, and you just let this quarterback run around.
You just run option.
Let's do that. Just be funky.
quarterback
Just
RPOs
make
and let
it-
him run all the time.
Just make
You
your team
totally
that
could.
unique to prepare for, to where every single team throughout the season has to prepare for you different than they do anybody else.
Yeah, I don't know.
You could do it. You could do it.
Totally
There's-
could.
What do you have to lose?
That's
Nothing.
That's just a weird
The
division.
first pick of the draft is what you have to lose.
If you win too many games.
Yeah.
Because I think
They could be playing. They could be playing for that.
That's what I'm saying. That's the only thing they have to
don't
lose
know.
is
I
losing
don't
the
know
first
why you
pick of the
would.
draft.
but the worst thing they could do is draft a quarterback with the first pick of the
So
draft next
true.
year.
Well, that's what
So
they'll do.
true.
That's
They'll
the
pick
worst
the
thing you could do.
quarterback.
Even if it's a stud. I mean, really, you're going to go draft whoever, Arch Manning or whoever ends up being the best quarterback at the end, or the most, sought after quarterback. I mean, that would be a disaster. That would be the Browns doing what the Browns always do.
That's what they're
That's
going to
exactly
do.
what's going to happen.
Take the quarterback
That's-
early.
that's-
Just take the
That's
quarterback early and
exactly
keep
what's going to
keep
happen.
the list running. Keep the list of quarterbacks running. It's just
What you just described is exactly what's going to happen. They will make sure this year they don't win too many games, and then they will
Yes.
draft early to pick a quarterback.
yes.
I think they might be 15-2
yeah, they might be.
because
I-
Deshaun's going to go. Deshaun's going to start. He's going to go on the road. They're going to get blasted. He's going to come home. They're going to make the fans happy and throw Shatter in there. They're going to win 15 straight,
We're gonna win
boys.
15 games.
We coming.
Something.
Freaking-
That'd be something.
That's the
That would
Brutus.
be the most. That'd be the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen.
Yes.
Other than the Bears winning.
Other than
They're pretty
Bears are going to
equal.
win the division.
Who's this?
All right. Well,
Oh yes, we got it on the big screen now. I don't know why they made Drake May black, but that's just what they did.
yeah, he does look.
They
Is
had
that Rob Gronkowski in the background?
It looks like him.
Does look like Gronk.
It also intermingles the Bills and
That is Gronk, 100%.
He's coming back this year. Hey, I know
And this
something
guy
you don't know.
wearing 12.
Black Tom Brady.
Is that Tom Brady?
Black Tom Brady.
Hey, I
he's
know
black.
something we
It's
don't know.
tight end Tom Brady. Why is a guy that big wearing 12?
And the guys on the far left side of the screen are like a mix between Bills and Patriots uniforms.
Yeah, this is
Couldn't
Des
decide.
Bryant here.
Oh, they are.
Anyway,
That's
Wow.
hilarious.
They're changing sides in the middle of the war.
Yeah. Turncoats. So
And this
from
doesn't look like Josh Allen.
no, I think it's a. I wonder if it's a copyright thing. Not
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Maybe. Yeah.
I think
I
that's
think if I
Susan's
would've-
husband.
I think I have to put a picture of Josh Allen in it to render it because if I do name likeness, it just automatically changes his likeness.
Really?
Yeah, that's the way I've been trying to prompt it. Anyway, bringing up the rear, I got the Jets finishing last
Oh.
again. They won 3 games last year.
Really?
I don't see that changing at all.
Really?
I don't see anything improving the Jets. The Dolphins coming in 3rd, but I could see either one of those 2 teams finishing last. It's going to
I
be a
think the-
dogfight for number 4 is what
I
it's
think
going
the
to be.
Dolphins are going to be battling with the Browns for the number 1 overall pick.
Well, I think the Jets are also going to be battling in the same.
But the Jets have a coach coaching for his life here. The Dolphins just hired a new coach. I think the Dolphins want to lose, and I think the Jets are going into the season wanting to win.
I know, but they won 3 games last year.
I know they won 3 games last year, but they're cool now. Their defense was a little bit better, 15th percentile.
I think-
Miami's defense was 8th.
I think if they're both,
think-
that's what I'm saying. It's a dogfight for the bottom of the division.
If they fire Aaron Glenn, then I think it's a tank.
I think
You
they
know what I
will
mean?
before the season is over.
I think so too. I think there's a good chance that Aaron Glenn doesn't survive. I think we're looking at 2 teams that might be down at the bottom and 3-4 wins.
I think so
Yeah.
too. That's my projection.
Yeah.
I just think the Dolphins might win more.
On accident.
Pure hunch.
Malik Willis?
It's literally a
But
total
the Jets
guess.
have Geno Smith.
I don't know.
You might be right here. My goodness.
Hey, but dude, put those 2 together. Like, I still take Geno Smith over Malik Willis.
Oh, me too, for sure.
I think the only differentiator I
Absolutely.
had here was just last year's production. Now the Dolphins are decimated. It's not even the same team that they fielded last year. Everything's different there. But the Jets won 3 games, so I don't even know what to do with this. The bottom.
I kind of have to.
What do you even do?
I kind of have to buy. I kind of have to buy John's. I think I have to buy John's narrative here in that the
Dolphins
Jets are at
fighting
least,
for last.
it seems like the Dolphins are going to go into the year not really trying to win, and the Jets will at least start the year trying to win, and then will probably fire their head coach after the middle of the year. I think that's likely what's going to happen. So they'll both, like you said, they're both going to be fighting for the bottom.
going to be a
But the Jets
dogfight.
will have. The Jets will have won 1 or 2 more games.
The Jets
before they
definitely have
started trying to
a way
lose.
higher. Yeah, they have a way higher incentive to actually try to win games. Now,
Yeah,
will
look
they
at the
win the
schedule.
games that they're trying to win? Is why I have them at 4.
It's a really good question. It's a really good question.
So those 2 are just a crapshoot for the bottom. And yeah, I think from the top there, I think pretty much everybody else agreed based on what we said last week. But I got the Pats coming in at 2. I have them projected to win 8 to 9 games. Significant drop off from last year. I saw only 6 for sure wins on the schedule, and then scraping in a couple here and there in division. But yeah, I think like we touched on last week, I don't see their offensive production getting any better. I think it's going to drop off. I think Stephon Diggs is a big thing. A.J. Brown is a huge problem, so I don't necessarily see that going so much better. And defensively, unimpressive. And then I got the Bills finishing at the top. I got them at 11 wins projected, and they'll run away with this division for sure. Pats fighting for a wild card spot, but if they only win 8 or 9, they'll potentially miss the playoffs.
That's how I see it. I think I probably have it a little closer between Buffalo and New England than you do. Their defenses were the same, 47th percentile last year. Buffalo's offense was 94th percentile, though. I mean, my goodness. It's like the second or third best since 2022.
Yeah, I see the Patriots a lot like the Colts. Honestly, I think defense is going to have more of a recipe for them this year. I think that spark they had last year is going to be gone. I can't imagine they have quite the same success offensively.
Yeah, look at their. I did the win projection just based off of. I looked at the schedule and went week by week. I just went week by week and tried to see how many wins on there I see for sure, and I only saw about 6.
And
So
those
6
are the
wins
Jets
for
and
New England.
Dolphins.
Yeah, they sweep them. They sweep both of them, and their schedule is pretty tough.
Yeah,
They play the first place schedule.
So, I mean, they start off Seahawks, Steelers, Jags, Bills. That's a rough first few games of the season. They get reprieve with the Raiders, Jets, and Bears. Who knows what that Bears game's going to look like? And then, Dolphins, Packers, Lions, Chargers, Bills, Vikings, Chiefs.
Whoa.
They got a stretch there of about 5 or 6 games that are really rough right around November.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they end the season.
This is brutal.
Their whole month
December.
of
6 games. This is brutal.
I mean, and by the time you get there, I mean, you may be looking at a fully functioning Chiefs team.
Right.
Yeah.
They go at Chiefs, at Jets, home for Denver. And then they finish off the season with the Dolphins, which will be a win. But there's not a lot of ease in their schedule. They have a couple easy weeks, but they start off the season with really tough four games out the gate, tough couple of weeks, and then they hit that 6-game stretch of like dogfight.
This Chiefs game is a massive red flag.
December 21st.
Because you're coming off of those 5. Well, if I want to see the Chiefs this year, I want to see them early. They have a lot of new pieces on their defense. They got a rookie corner.
Quarterback.
But they have stability on the interior. They got stability at their edge rushers, and they got stability at linebacker. And they have one of the better linebacker duos in the NFL.
Yep.
For guys who can stuff the run and cover. So if those pieces they added come together and if their rookie corner is good, I mean, even if their offense flounders and struggles and they win 7-8 games, I don't want to see this defense after seeing this gauntlet.
after a month.
You know what I mean?
Of,
Packers, Lions, Chargers, Bills, Vikings, and then potentially that defense. Coming down the stretch where you get Denver 2 weeks after that. You get to play the Jets and the Dolphins, but goodness, they're probably out of these last 9 games. I mean, what are the chances that they can drop 4 of those? Not likely. You know what I mean?
Well, look at how they start.
Yeah, it's the first 4 weeks out the gate are rough.
It's true. Seahawks, Steelers, Jags, at Bills.
Honestly, they got a shot of being 1-3 or 2-2 after 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Playing from behind all year, and then that
I'm
last
telling you,
9 games.
if they do, and you guys might think I'm joking around because I always think it's kind of funny with Vrabel, but if Vrabel comes back after last year and goes 2-2 or 1-3 to start the year,
yeah.
he's going to be under the major hot seat from the fan base, from the media.
It will be all the media talks about.
It's going to be a big deal because the guy couldn't keep himself. He couldn't discipline himself.
Right.
It's going to be huge if they don't go 3-1 or 4-0. And then they're going to have a couple of games, and then they're going to play that gauntlet. That guy has got to worry about his job.
Yeah. No, he does, because that's the easy button from the organizational standpoint.
You
Just
embarrassed
fire the
us.
coach, just get rid of him.
Yep.
And then you turn in this season. Just
That's interesting.
Especially because they think they have the guy at quarterback. Everybody's sold on Drake May. Everybody thinks he's the guy. So the head coach is the easy one.
Right.
The
But
head
this
coach-
reprieve in the middle of the year is only 4 weeks.
Yeah.
The head coach who embarrassed the organization, it's not a good recipe. He doesn't have the head coach cachet to get through stuff like that,
No.
and then have your team be, 4-8.
No, he kind of has the head coach that the league doesn't really like, right? Ex-player,
Yeah.
tough guy, isn't
Right.
isn't super, happy-go-lucky with the media, right? He's not the type of head coach that the media likes. So
And
he's
I like
already
all
going to be
those
one of those
things
guys.
about him.
Yeah. No, me too.
Yeah.
He already has that against him, and you add
Right.
the other stuff on top of it. They're looking to move him out already.
But people who like him for those reasons are also people who are have really flipped their tune because of the personal conduct. Because that's the people that the personal conduct actually matters to. Are the people who like the traditional defensive tough guy coach, former linebacker, like the people who like that guy, I would imagine have a little bit more traditional and I say traditional, but just like normal behavior.
They're not going to back
values.
the guy. I don't want a guy who likes that about coaches isn't going to put his name behind
Right.
Vrabel after that kind of.
Well,
The
and if
people
you're-
who would are the people who like the young offensive hotshot coaches. They're the ones who are going to be like, well, it's different. It's off the field. Who cares?
the one part of this which is interesting is the owner, right?
Mhm.
Who took a lot of heat a few years ago, for his personal indiscretions. And then those kind of went away, but then last year they came back
Mm-hmm.
because the head coach did what he did. And now people started relating that back and remembering what the owner went through, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now if they go bad and they start going after the head coach about those indiscretions, the owner's going to be related to that again. And how
He's
long
gonna
can
wanna
a
shut
owner
that.
go through that?
The other factor is the Hall of Fame snub. Robert
Exactly.
Kraft thought he was going to get into the Hall of Fame, and then they snubbed him. And
Right.
now his stuff comes up, the Vrabel stuff. Man, quick.
If this guy doesn't
My
win games,
goodness.
if he's not a winning guy, he's going to be gone.
I think he's probably like the third or fourth most likely to get fired.
I think you're right. I think
Just
he's
as
going to
it stands
want
today.
Yeah.
Robert Kraft is going to want to put the kibosh on this as soon as possible. He honestly may be hoping for a 1-3 start. So he has an excuse.
He might.
Well, and then did you see, just to see how the media plays into this, did you see the owner of the 49ers?
Yeah.
The guy from Ohio or whatever?
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, I
Story
saw
about
it.
him today.
Yeah, I saw it.
He got arrested and hooked up in some prostitution thing. I mean, this stuff is just out there. And Robert Kraft is, every time something pops out, Robert Kraft is like, don't mention me, don't mention me.
Right.
Yeah.
So I see Vrabel on a hot seat just because even
I
if
think
he
you're
doesn't
right.
do anything wrong, if they lose, all of that will be brought up and Robert Kraft will be brought into it because of
I think
his
he's on a
history.
hot seat right now. I think.
agree.
I
yeah.
agree.
I agreed.
I mean, you got to start 7-1, 6-2.
No way. They won't.
And just looking at this schedule, yeah, Buffalo is the easy favorite in the division. This schedule is brutal.
Told you.
This is brutal.
That's why I had him at 8.
If they start 7-1 or 6-2, he is one damn good coach.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Right,
Which I
no
think
joke.
he is. The thing is, I think he is.
I loved him. I
Me
thought he
too.
was awesome.
I've been a
Yeah,
I agree. I've been a Vrabel
right
guy.
up until this offseason.
Yes.
Man. Yeah, at Seattle.
So I
Steelers.
project Bills run away with the division. Pats coming up. 8 wins.
Yeah.
But still
then-
second because the bottom is going to be so
bottom.
3
is the
wins
bottom.
and 2 wins. However
Your
that
coin
shakes
as
out.
to which- yeah, flip the coin there.
2 teams shopping for head coaches before the season's over.
Because I was
Yeah.
gonna have the Pats
Oh, they're doing
a
it
lot
now.
closer to Buffalo until I started to go through their schedule, and I'm like, I'm not
Dude.
seeing a lot of wins here. Even if they play better than I expect, I'm not seeing a lot of wins out of that schedule.
No, I'm with you. I hadn't taken a look at their schedule.
I didn't look at their schedule till you guys brought it up. It's like, wow.
That's brutal.
That is
No
brutal.
breaks.
It's brutal. I just can't imagine what's going through that guy's head. Man.
Take a look at the Bills' schedule. They start pretty brutal too.
Yeah, they do.
Texans, Lions, Chargers, Pats, Rams. How do they end? Jets, Dolphins, Broncos, Bears, Packers. So not ideal, but not that
that bad.
stretch the Pats have.
Mm-mm. And you end Dolphins Jets.
Well, and Josh Allen can win you a shootout, so I give more grace there for a lot of these closer games.
Yeah.
You can trust Josh Allen in the fourth quarter
You don't
to win a
you don't
couple of
think-
these dogfights.
You don't think Drake May is the shit?
Josh Allen?
I think he
No,
could
Drake
be.
May.
No.
I think he could be.
I just haven't seen it. I think he underperformed in the playoffs.
Well, he underperformed
Definitely
against every good defense.
underperformed
Oh, I actually
in the
looked
Super
at that
Bowl.
this week.
So I haven't seen anything that would show me that he's going to overperform to what he looked like last year.
Yeah.
They played 2 defenses in the top 10 last year. They played Cleveland with the 8th best and New
Denver.
Orleans with the 9th best. Those were the 2 best defenses they played. They played 7 defenses in the bottom 10, 11 defenses in the bottom half. So
And
it's
he's-
really,
yeah,
it is a
it
big
showed.
question mark for him. It is.
And
a
they,
big question
they
mark.
had the
Good question.
easiest schedule in the NFL last year.
And it just
Yeah.
showed it showed in the playoffs. He struggled against good defenses. If
Right.
if Jarrett Stidham doesn't turn that ball over,
They
the
lose.
conversation's totally different. And the backup quarterback beats him, right?
Right.
Right.
So it's a completely different conversation that we're having right now about Drake May. If that
Well-
one play goes a different direction.
And just looking at that schedule with the players that the Pats have, it's like even if I thought Drake May was really good, I'm still not seeing a ton of easy wins there
No.
like that.
This could be.
He's gonna have to be a dude with that.
Yeah,
schedule.
he's just gonna have to be.
this
And I
could
haven't
be
seen it.
The narrative could flip quickly for him.
And I like Drake May.
No, I do too.
Yeah, no,
He was underrated coming out of college. I thought he was the
Yeah.
best quarterback in that draft. I thought he should have went number 1.
Yeah.
Over
I think he
Caleb
could be the
Williams
real
and
deal.
Jaden Daniels. And, yeah.
Yeah,
He's
I
still
really
young.
think
But man,
he's the real deal.
11 out of 17 games were against bottom half defenses, man.
Yeah, they had a cake schedule last year. Then they started playing good defense in the playoffs, and he did not look like the same guy.
No.
He's not a Super Bowl quarterback right now. They
Right.
were in
Well,
the Super
he's-
Bowl last year. He's not a Super
Yeah,
Bowl.
if
Not
he's
on
the
that
guy,
team.
He's
Right.
going to learn from the playoffs last year, and he'll come back this year and be even better
Right.
Correct.
because he's
Which
young.
he might be. The door is open for that being being the reality.
Absolutely.
Because I saw a lot that I liked from him when I watched his games.
Hmm.
But he fumbled. Dude, he fumbles all the time. It was like when I was watching him, it was like when you play Madden and you run with a non-black
Fumbles
quarterback.
every time he gets
And
hit.
every time they get hit, it's what it looked like. It was like, my goodness, man, hold on to the football. I don't know if he's got little hands or what, but man, brutal.
Well, that's because his name was Drake.
Yeah, that's what it is. His name was Drake.
I wonder if that's like a panic thing. Like a panicky, panicky poor
I
ball
don't
security.
Yeah, Jason.
Who was it? There was a quarterback that they used to talk about saying he got sweaty palms and he couldn't hold onto the ball. 'Cause
Really?
He had some sweating issue.
I only have
Seems strange.
Maybe he's just a sweater. Maybe he's a palm sweater.
Yeah.
Almost sort of like Jason.
Yeah,
That's only in video games. I was
it's a
fine.
medical condition, everybody. It's a medical
Medical.
Man. Yeah. So yeah, do we want to seed these teams?
Wow.
So we got or at least pick the wild card teams. We got Jacksonville, Denver, Pittsburgh, Buffalo as our division winners. And then the next 4, Houston, I think we all have in.
Yeah.
And then it goes, I guess, Chargers, Chiefs, Bengals, Ravens, Patriots for those last 2 spots.
All right. So your division winners, your top
Yeah,
2.
We have.
I think the
I
Chargers.
think we have to put. I think we have to put the Chargers in the 7 because we have declared that the number 7.
Yeah,
seed
that's the
is
Charger
Chargers.
spot. So they are the 7 seed.
They are this. They have to have the 7 seed.
So that makes Houston the 5 seed. 6 seed, Cincinnati, Baltimore, or New England.
Cincinnati.
I
think it's
am thinking
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
Yeah.
That's mine too. Yeah.
Denver 1 seed.
Denver's 1 seed.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
And
Jacksonville
honestly-
2 seed. What do you guys think? What were you going to say, Tom?
I was going to say, honestly, it checks out even historically that the Patriots miss the playoffs. That happens a lot after you lose the Super Bowl.
Brady.
It does.
Next year, there's a fall off quite often.
And they
Tom
were
Brady.
blown
Historically,
out.
it checks out.
Nice kiss.
blown out in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So that checks out. So yeah, I see them missing. I don't know. I could see the Bills.
No. Oh, sorry, guys.
He's a baby.
I could see the Bills taking the 2 seed, but I could see Jacksonville doing it too. I don't feel
Yeah.
strongly either way on that.
So they're 2-3, then Pittsburgh 4.
Yeah, I think that's accurate.
2-3. Okay.
You guys, we got Pittsburgh 4
Yeah.
with a 49-year-old quarterback
I think
Yes.
it's gonna happen.
They did it last year.
and a brand new head coach.
Yeah. But here, okay, we say brand new head coach, and there is a lot of change, especially when Tomlin was there for so long. But the brand new head coach, where would he rank in head coaches in the NFL?
I know,
Mike McCarthy,
right.
I'd have him top 10 easily.
Especially when you pair him with
No,
You're pairing
current coaches in the
Yeah,
NFL.
it's a good
Top
point.
5 maybe?
and you're
don't
pairing
think
him with
so.
Aaron Rodgers. You're pairing him back with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
He was the coach for Aaron Rodgers when Aaron Rodgers was at his best.
I know. I
Right.
get that. I totally get that. I think Mike McCarthy in Green Bay is a top 5 head coach.
Yeah.
I think Mike McCarthy in Dallas is way down the list.
Yeah.
That just might, thinking about that.
Yeah, no, contextually for sure.
If you think about him, contextually
No,
in
no
Dallas.
Dallas head coach could be higher than like the 15th best coach in the NFL.
Exactly. No,
That's
it's
the thing.
true.
Is
Or
like it's-
hamstrung.
you go to Dallas and
It's true.
That's a death knell. That's a death knell. You just don't. You don't look good. Good coaches go to Dallas and they don't look good in Dallas.
So I kind of think what you're going to get from Mike McCarthy in Pittsburgh is a crapshoot.
I think with this being Rodgers last year, and yeah, it didn't end well with him and Rodgers, but I think this year, I think the entire organization is just, let's just see how many damn games we can win this year. You know what I mean? I think there's continuity with the mentality from the organization, the head coach, the quarterback, the aged defenders feeling like this might be one of our last chances to make a deep playoff. I don't know. I like it. I like the subjective motivation factor and at the risk of sounding gay, the alignment mentally that you're getting from everybody saying just Just do it this 1 year. All those defensive guys, TJ Watt, they all got to be thinking, just come on, 1 year before I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think that means a lot. Guys with their motivation and how they can put themselves together and do it. I just think you're putting a whole heck of a lot on a 49-year-old quarterback.
Yeah.
Or 44. What is he? 43.
I don't know. I think he's, 40 or 41, I think.
Even though they could probably put him up in a wheelchair there and push it, the center could snap it to him, push him backwards. He could throw the ball 70 yards.
Yeah, he could chuck still.
Yeah.
But the mobility, the unwillingness to get hit much.
Yes.
Which I think you'll see him willing to get hit more this year than last year.
I hope so, because I like
the last year, and it's just I think he's a different player mentally, knowing it's his last season. I think he's just his temperament or his personality strikes me as that kind of guy who's like, okay, this is my last year for sure. I'm just gonna put it all out there. I don't really.
Yeah.
What am I saving myself for here?
Yeah, and then at that point, the question becomes, how many games does he last?
Yeah, true.
You know?
Yeah, and that's the big question in my mind with Pittsburgh is just the age. It's just they've got to stay healthy.
But we got him at number 4, and I'm good with it. I'm not saying I'm not. I'm just saying, wow.
Kind of just by default.
Yeah.
Yeah, by
kind
default
of
because
win
of their
division.
division.
So it's not the same playoff picture as last year. We do have New England missing, Cincinnati making it.
We actually have New England missing. Man.
Well, that's the thing. That's what it comes down to, though. If they don't win the division,
Yeah.
it's Houston and the Chargers, and maybe Cincy wins 10 or 11. I mean, if you don't win the division, you still have to win 11 football games
Yeah, you got to win
to make a
at
wild card spot.
least 10, if not 11.
I mean, you could win 10 and miss.
Yeah,
And a team that's not even in our conversation, but again, it's Kansas City. They could easily be a 10-11 win football team at the end of the year, depending on how healthy they are at the beginning of the year. You mentioned some of the defensive keys for them that could really shape up
The potentials, yeah.
well,
and
actually,
it's a Spagnuolo defense, so they're going to be good. Their defense is going to be effective.
their defense was better than we remember from last year. When I started to look at things, they were a top 10 or 12 defense.
Yeah.
So if they make any improvements to that, I mean, you're talking, if you're looking at a top 8 defense with Andy Reid as your coordinator, and if Mahomes can play 90% of what he was, they've got a shot. You have to say they got a shot, because they still are going to have cachet against some teams because it's the Chiefs, you know?
Well, if they can run the ball well too, I don't think they have the skill guys to make a deep playoff run. But if they can pound the rock a little bit, take some pressure off Mahomes, and play really good defense in the back half of the season, because it's going to be rocky. It's going to be rocky at the beginning of the year with all the new pieces and the young guys. Their defense is might look porous in the first couple weeks, but I expect them to look significantly different and maybe legitimately good by the end of the year.
Right. So I'm not saying they're going to be in our playoff hunt. I'm just saying that's another AFC team that you're thinking 8, 9, 10 wins maybe.
Which makes New England look even more questionable.
Yeah, I think Baltimore has a chance. I mean, I don't think they will, but they still have a chance of winning those 10 games too.
They're going to win.
Exactly.
Baltimore's going to win 9 games. Yeah. And if something happens and they end up getting on a roll, or Derrick Henry just starts going off and having one of those years, you know what I mean? They could win 11 games. But they're going to win 9 games because other teams are going to not be able to handle the quarterback scrambling out of the pocket and running, even though he's not as young as he was. I think Baltimore's going to win 8 or 9 games, which is 3rd place potentially in their division too.
I think for a first-year coaching staff, I think they have a ton of pressure, because I think coming off of Harbaugh, I could see a lot of guys quitting if it feels like, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? If it feels like these guys don't know what they're doing, I could see a lot of guys just quitting. You know what I mean? Mentally in the locker room. I could.
There's big questions.
I
think there's questions there too with the new coaching staff. It's going to be a question, but they have like to Dad's point, they have the talent to be a 9-win team.
Yeah, they
and
do.
be in the conversation and be one of those teams that's like New England's fallen out just because it's tough when you're talking about the wild card in the AFC. There's a lot of teams in the conversation. There just is. It's wide.
Yeah. Yeah, Baltimore's fascinating because I mean they're also considered they're the favorite to win the division.
Right.
So like you're coming into this situation where you're expected to be like plug and play coaching staff.
Yeah, it's not a Miami coaching staff.
And it's no, exactly. It's like that is a very interesting job to take.
Yeah.
Well,
when you're expected to be almost the savior, almost a little bit of a savior, because last year was a down year and people seemed ready to move on from Harbaugh. And it's like, okay, you're here to unlock what the potential for this team can be. Get us over the hump because they were in the AFC Championship game 2 years ago. So you're here to get us over the hump, man. You're here to I mean, if it doesn't look like that and it doesn't feel like that in the locker room and people think this young guy's coming in and he's trying to, I could just see guys going to hell with this.
Yeah.
I don't have time
how
for
much
this.
longer how much longer is Derrick Henry
out of here?
Top tier running back in the NFL. Like he could be one of those guys who halfway through the year is like, what am I doing?
Yeah, what am I doing here?
This is supposed to be my saving grace from Tennessee.
Yeah. Just from the pure speculation on the human motives and factors. But yeah, no, I think we all somewhat agree, more or less, how the AFC plays out, which is interesting. I thought there'd be a little more contention, but then everybody brings good arguments when they're ranking their teams here.
Yeah.
So that's all I've got. Unless you guys want to talk and bring up
for next week.
Yeah,
There'll be more topics. I think as the season goes on, it's a little easier to carry on.
Definitely.
And do longer convos.